Copycat Olive Garden soup. So first thing, shredded carrots. 1 bag. Back from the store. I have all of the ingredients laid out. Today we are going to be making chicken gnocchi soup, and this is a copycat recipe from the chicken gnocchi soup at Olive Garden. So this is my favorite soup. This is one of my favorite things to make. I think it tastes really great, so I wanted to make a cooking video. It's been a while, so I hope you enjoy. Alrighty, so starting with my favorite soup pot. You can definitely use something smaller, but this is my favorite pot to use for this soup. So starting on medium heat, we're going to take our extra virgin olive oil and drizzle that at the bottom of the pot. It's kind of hard to measure olive oil, so just a good drizzle at the bottom of your pot will do just well. After I put in my oil, I like to put in my onion next. So I put my half of my small white onion diced up pretty small, and I put that in with my olive oil. Next, I like to throw in the celery, and for this recipe I'm going to use half of this container, and if you are going to use the celery sticks, you can use about 1 to 2 sticks, and you can dice it up. Next we have our carrots, and I use half of this bag, and that is the third thing that I put into the soup. After all of my vegetables are in, I want to give that a really good stir, and this is going to start cooking for 10 minutes. It's really important that you cook it for exactly 10 minutes. If you want to do like 12, that would be even better, just because you do not want any raw vegetables in the soup. Trust me, even though it's going to keep cooking after this, they do not cook down. So really cook these vegetables. Make sure they are all fully soft, and they definitely will be after the 10 minutes. The 10 minutes is the perfect time. So after I make sure everything's tossed, now you can see they're going to just cook for 10 minutes. During the 10 minutes, I like to just watch them, and I like to stir occasionally just to make sure that nothing is sticking. If you were using your fresh garlic, you could have thrown it in with this as well. It would have just cooked right in there with the onions, and it would have been really good. I am now going to put in my salt. I put in, like, it looks like a lot, but there's no salt in here yet, so I think it's a perfect amount, and I will continue to add more if I feel like I need to. You just have to, like, you know, try things as you go, because you can never take it out. As my mom told me, you can never take it out, but you can always put it in. Next, I'm also going to put in my black pepper as well, and this is after my vegetables are cooked. If you like a thicker soup, you could also put in a little bit of flour, like just after the vegetables are cooked and you put your salt and pepper, you can put in a little spoon of flour and cook it down for 5 minutes, and then you will have a thicker base, and then your soup will be thicker. Also, I didn't use fresh garlic. I used the minced garlic, so I just put it in after my vegetables are cooked. Alright, so now it is time for our low sodium chicken broth, and I like to use low sodium so that I can control the salt, and I know how much salt is going in. I'm gonna just pour this into the soup. This is 4 cups, so this one recipe, 1 serving of soup calls for 1 container of chicken broth. If you want to make a second pot of soup, or like doubling this recipe, you would get 2 of these to double the recipe. And this is how our soup is looking after I put in the chicken broth. We got just our cooked vegetables, salt, pepper, our olive oil, and our chicken broth. So now it is time to pour in our half and half. Okay, so this is my favorite part because if you've seen the movie Ratatouille, I just feel like him when he makes the soup. The soup that he makes in the movie kind of looks like this, so this is why I call this my Ratatouille soup. But anyways, so we're going to pour in our pint of half and half. The recipe, when I first made it always says to like pour it in like bit by bit, so like a cup at a time, but like I feel like that's not necessary. So you can just pour in the whole thing, honestly. You're going to pour in the half and half and give that a good stir. Now that the half and half is in there, you can kind of see like this little like yellow, I guess, film at the top, so that it comes from our olive oil. And just be careful not to put too much olive oil in the beginning, because then you will have like a lot more yellow. But I've done this before where I added way too much olive oil, just be careful. But don't worry, because the yellow that you see now definitely will cook out as we continue to cook our soup. So I just threw in my 1 package of gnocchi, and you're going to let that now cook on medium. You're gonna just like have it at a light simmer, and that is going to cook for 20 minutes. If you don't know what gnocchi is, or if you've never had it, it's basically like a little potato dumpling. It's made from potatoes and flour, so it's just like a little dumpling. It's very soft and a little chewy. It's super good. I really love eating it. So you kind of have to like break down the gnocchi a little bit just so that they can split up. And I'm going to cook this for exactly 20 minutes, so I'll be back around like 9:45. Okay, so this is definitely not a simmer. This is like boiling at this point, but I like to check up on the soup, stir it within like the 20 minutes, just a few times, make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. I had this on like 5, so turn it down to like a 3, and then it should simmer and not be boiling like it's boiling right now. But just continue to stir it, continue to watch it for the 20 minutes. Even if you cook it over the 20 minutes, it's gonna be completely fine. It's gonna still taste even wonderful. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes, and this is the baked chicken that I cooked earlier. So I just used complete seasoning and olive oil, and I baked it at 350 until it was cooked. And now I just like roughly chopped it up and threw it in the pot. My soup is already cooked. You can see like the yellow film is gone, and I just like to stir that in. I have the soup on low, and you can even turn it off because it's so hot. I think, yeah, you can just turn it off. I totally forgot to mention this, but after the soup is cooked and everything and you put in your chicken, the last step is to throw in some spinach. I totally forgot to add it into the ingredients list, but I put like a couple of handfuls of spinach, and I kind of just like roughly broke it up with my hand just to make smaller pieces. But just add in the spinach and stir it in. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that after you add in the chicken, since your chicken is salty and it has like seasoning, after you stir that in very well, try the liquid just to see if it has enough salt. And if you need a little more, hey, just like throw it in. And if you want a little more pepper or a little more garlic, you know, just throw in whatever you feel like you need. Alrighty, yay, the soup is ready. It's cooked, it's delicious, it looks really good. I'm so excited that I was able to make this video, and I really hope that you guys will make the soup. Comment down below if you are going to make it. Doesn't that look so good? Like, I love the soup so much. It's so easy to make. All right, and now it is finally time to eat. Yay! I'm serving it into our cute little soup bowls. This is my first time finally making soup in these, because last time I cooked in these, I wasn't even making soup in it. But anyways, finally, we get to use our cute soup bowl. So I'm just serving it up. This is for me and Dee Dee. This was our dinner today. That looks so good. I am so excited to eat it. Well, I already ate it, but you know what I mean. This makes a good amount of soup. Like, there's a lot of soup here. So we even have leftovers, and I feel like there's like 2 more servings. So, you know, and even tomorrow the soup is going to be thicker. So you get soup, you get leftovers. The leftovers are even better. So this is just such a good soup. Go make this, please, and invite me because I want to try it. All right, soup is ready and served. Now we're gonna do a little taste test. This, oh my goodness. Wait, watch. This was so hot. Like, it was burning my mouth. Those little gnocchis hold some heat. But it was so good. As you see yesterday, Mimi, that it was good. And those are the breadsticks that we got that are similar shape to Olive Garden. It was really good. I'm gonna eat my dinner, so bye-bye. Hey guys, so I hope that you enjoyed watching me cook the chicken gnocchi soup, and I really hope that you will make it. If you think that you will make this soup and you thought that it looked really good, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this recipe. I have a few notes because it's kind of hard to like give out a recipe without having like the real recipe. Like, I'm one that really doesn't cook with like measurements. So it's a little difficult to like put out a recipe without having like a real like recipe written out and stuff. So I just want to give you a few notes so that you can understand the recipe and the video a little more. The first thing, let's talk about like prep and timing and all of that. It's gonna take you 30 minutes to cook the soup. So the cook time is 30 minutes, and you can kind of cut down on prep time if you get like the cut ingredients, like the celery. They sell that, I think, like 3 something at Publix, and it's already cut up for you, so you just have to throw it in there. The shredded carrots already done for you, so throw that in there as well. I used to buy like the onion, like the same thing as the celery packet, but they had it for onions, so you can also buy that, and I think that is really good and it saves time. And I hate cutting onions, so yeah. But if you don't prefer like to have if you prefer to like cut up the stuff yourself in the prep work, that's totally fine. It'll just take a little more time. So you just get like a whole onion, you get like 2 carrots, you get 2 sticks of celery, and yeah, you should be good. Like, you just like do the prep work yourself, which is totally fine. I just like to have it already pre-cut. But also, if you get like the one that is not pre-cut for you, then you save money, which is also good. The soup recipe that I'm giving you is for one soup. It's for one recipe, but some of the ingredients can double up. One thing I want to say is that if you go to like Publix or wherever you shop, they sometimes will have like the baked chickens. So if you want to like pick up one of those instead of baking your own chicken, that's also a really good option. All you would do is like shred up the chicken or like cut it up however you'd like, and you would throw it in the soup just as if you would bake your own chicken at home. I prefer to bake my own chicken just because I like the taste of mine. But that's another great option. If you get the chicken at home and you bake it, all you have to do is just season it like pretty regularly and then just bake it until it's cooked. I suggest to like start with your chicken, put it in there, and then start with the soup, so that by the time you get to throwing your chicken into the soup at the very end, everything will be cooked at the same time, so you're not spending like an hour cooking the soup. This should be like 30 to 45 minutes depending, you know, if you get your own, if you get the pre-cut vegetables, or you like do all the prep work yourself, or if you get already cooked chicken, or you bake it yourself. So it just takes, you know, it depends. So 30 to 45 minutes is what it takes to make the soup. This is a copycat of Olive Garden, but we went to Olive Garden like, I think like 2 weeks ago, and I had some of their soup, and then when I had mine yesterday, I realized it's not the same. So Olive Garden versus mine, Olive Garden is way more like, it has more liquid, so like it's like thinner, I guess. Mine is a little more like heartier, like there's more stuff in it. So it just depends on you. I personally like a more like heartier soup, but my sister likes more of like the liquid. Also, something that's important to, so whether you like it more heartier, then you can just follow my recipe, but if you do like more of like the real Olive Garden taste, then what you're gonna do is buy double of your half and half and double of your chicken broth. In my video, I used 1 pint of half and half, which was like the little small one, and then 1 container of chicken broth. So what you'll do if you want more of like liquid, then you can just double up on your half and half and your chicken stock. Also, to make it really like Olive Garden, I suggest getting nutmeg and putting it in there too, because my recipe when I found it a few years ago never told me to use nutmeg. But as I keep trying Olive Gardens, I'm like, I feel like they have nutmeg in it, and you'll taste it, like they have nutmeg in there. So if you want it to taste exactly like Olive Garden, make it more liquidy. So double up on your liquids and then add nutmeg. That will make it taste more like Olive Garden. Also, what you can do is get pre-cooked gnocchi. So the gnocchi that I have, that's just the brand that I always use. I just prefer it, but I think any brand will do. Like, I don't really think there's like a big difference. I personally, for me, like a more like tender, I guess, gnocchi. My sister likes it like very soft, and Olive Garden's is very soft, like extremely soft. So again, if you want to make it like to the T of Olive Garden, like exactly like Olive Garden, I suggest getting pre-cooked gnocchi and then cooking it for the same amount of time as the regular one. So as you saw in my recipe, I cooked my gnocchi for 20 minutes inside the liquid. So if you want to make it like Olive Garden's and you want a very soft gnocchi, then get the pre-cooked gnocchi and then still cook it for the 20 minutes. So since it's already like since it's already cooked, then it'll cook for additional 20 minutes and it'll be very soft, and I'm sure it's going to be really good. So there's my recipe, and then if you really want to make it like Olive Garden, let's do a recap. Double up on half and half, double up on chicken broth, get pre-cooked gnocchi, and add nutmeg. So that will, I feel like it would really taste like Olive Garden that way, and I might try to do it that way next time I make it, because I really want to like nail that flavor for my sister. So yeah, my recipe was for 1 pot of soup. So if you want to double up, what you would do is use your whole onion, you would use more salt and pepper, you would use your whole thing of celery, the whole thing of carrots, and you would use 2 packets of gnocchi. I used 1 in the recipe, so you're going to buy 2. You're going to buy 2 of those half and half pints, and then double up on the low sodium chicken broth. The reason I like doing the low sodium chicken broth is because I can like control the salt, so I can just like pour as much as I need to, and I know like how much salt is going to be in it. So that's why I personally like it. Yeah, I've always wanted to try to make this soup vegan, but haven't got there. I have made it vegetarian. Well, I think I still use chicken broth, so it's not vegetarian, but I have done it without the chicken. It doesn't taste the same, because like the chicken brings like a little bit more flavor, but you can do it without the chicken. And also, if you don't like celery, you don't have to put celery. If you don't like carrots, you don't have to put carrots. If you don't like onions, you don't have to put onions. Maybe you can put like onion powder, garlic powder, that kind of thing. But I like the vegetables in it. It's good. Also, oh my gosh, I can't stress this enough. Please make sure you sweat and cook the vegetables for exactly 10 minutes or maybe 15, okay? I've made this soup I don't even know how many times, right? And there was one time where I forgot how long I cooked the vegetables in the beginning for. So you know what happened? They were undercooked, right? And the soup was disgusting, okay? Hard carrots in the soup, that's not it. It was so bad. The celery was still hard. And you would think that since it cooks for another 20 minutes that they would cook down, but they really don't. Trust me, they will not cook. They really won't. So it's very important to cook the vegetables all the way through. Make sure they're very soft. 10 minutes is usually really good, but if you can do like 15, that would be like, make sure that everything is cooked. Especially if you try to double up on the recipe, make sure you really like cook them, because you really don't want the raw vegetables, unless that's like your thing. But the raw vegetable taste, it's not good. It's not good in the soup. So yeah, I think that's all of my tips. If you have any questions, just like leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I really hope that you make the soup. Go make it. If you like Olive Garden soup, go make it. Let me know what other cooking videos you want me to do, any other copycat recipes from different places. I'm always up for a new recipe. They're so much fun. You don't really have to do this, but it's like cool if you do. We bought the breadsticks like from Publix in like the frozen section. They sell like breadsticks that are like kind of similar shape to Olive Garden. Or hey, go to Olive Garden and just buy breadsticks, and while you're there you might as well buy the soup, right? So yeah, I just wanted to give a little like clarity, because like I don't really cook with like measurements. So like the salt and pepper and like the garlic, I kind of just like put it in there, and like I don't know, I just know, you know, I just know how much to put. So I try to do like give you my best and give you measurements. So yeah, just try stuff out, see what you like, what you don't like about my recipe. You definitely want to make it and tweak it to fit what you like. It's really up to you. That's why it's kind of hard to like give this recipe, because like people have all of their like, you know, like different preferences. But try this recipe, try the tips I gave you, and see what's the best outcome for you and what you like. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will make this soup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next one, bye.